My name is Kevin. I'm 27 years old and I am a construction inspector. Just really wanted to invest into my future physically, especially, and also just appreciate the benefits of like mental and emotional health improvement through developing discipline in like my physical health.
And what would you say, Kevin, were like some of the biggest challenges that you were experiencing when you first started? Because I remember our first call, like from memory, you were in a position of just struggle both physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Just constant overwhelm, really poor time management skills. Hardest thing was not the workouts, not necessarily like the diet or anything. It was just like prioritizing sleep and rest.
Mm.
Because if I wasn't spending time on this thing related to work, I was spending time on this thing related to my family, I was spending on this thing related to school, devoting nothing to my own health at all. Of course, when I wasn't filling up my own cup, I had barely anything left to give to anyone else. And
Yeah.
it was insanity. It just cycled through.
How did you not being able to prioritize yourself affect the way you treated others, the way you looked at yourself, the way you showed up at work?
Well, I just barely had any energy. I couldn't assert myself. I drive a lot for my job because I visit a lot of different construction sites. I could barely even stay focused for that and would find myself swerving and like almost drifting off to sleep
Wow.
while I was driving. It really became a matter of like life and death for me. I just wasn't feeling good about the way I looked, the way that I was performing. It's a physical job. And I felt like I was giving it my all and giving it 110%, but I wasn't even reaching my own full potential of what I was capable of doing.
And how long were you stuck in that cycle?
Was it maybe like since 2016 or so when
Oh,
I
wow.
graduated high school?
So like 8 years.
8 years I've been in this.
And over the course of the past 6 months, have you seen significant changes in your life?
Yeah, for sure. I don't feel as much like fatigue in general at my job. I'm able to be more efficient with my time. Still a work in progress, of course, but I'm actually able to like stay awake while I'm driving. I'm actually able to like have a stronger presence, I feel like, with others. And I also just appreciate the way that I look now. My partner appreciates it. People have been noticing I carry myself a different way as well. Last week, I had like one of my clients come up to me and was just like, "Oh my God, you're looking great.
Yes.
You're resting right now." And I'm like, "Damn, was I really looking that shitty before?" I didn't
Yeah.
realize I was living my life like a zombie for a while, you know?
You get
Yeah.
so used to that being your normality until you start to realize what normality should feel like.
You're right. Yeah.
And what would you say is like the biggest shift or has helped over the past 6 months?
So I've been, working with Coach Naz, and he has been really aiding me in like not being so hard on myself when I'm not 100% perfect on like hitting all my metrics or whatever. He really emphasizes like looking at the big picture and the general trend of things instead.
Mm.
I don't think I ever really allowed myself to like have those little moments for like celebration, a mentality change and mindset there.
So would you say that having that accountability, the guidance has really allowed you to get to where you are today?
The accountability, and then also being able to see the community, like posting in like the Discord chat and stuff like that, like sharing their struggles or sharing their wins and stuff. And I was sick during this past week. I think if I were doing this journey by myself, I might have dragged my feet trying to go back to the gym. It really encouraged me to like, get back on the horse, so to speak.
Those constant reminders, right? And by having your community there, seeing people win, it gives you a sense of falling behind, right? To the
Yeah,
point where you're like, I need to go do something so I can keep up with everyone else.
yeah, exactly. Or even just like, how am I supposed to relate to like these other people who are clearly on this like, amazing journey themselves? I'm in this community. I might as well like try to immerse myself in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take advantage of it, right?
right. Yeah.
Build those relationships.
Yeah.
What are a few things you've tried in the past, Kevin, that didn't really work for you?
I've gone on several stints of like working out and stuff. So like in my early college and stuff like that, I work like crazy hours, like, 10, 12 hours. And then I'd go to like a 24-hour gym and I'd be there until like early morning and stuff like that. And of course I'd get like burnt out after like a month or two and then just fall off of it. Right. Other times random workout programs that my friends would suggest and like it would have me being in the gym doing, oh my God, like maybe 5, 6, 7 sets, just increasing weight and incrementally decreasing weight, and I'd be in the gym for like 3 hours. It felt good, I would see results. But as other areas of my life would get busy, I'd fall off of that again. And of course, nobody was telling me anything about diet. I was just eating whatever, doing whatever with it, or any type of knowledge about like, what exactly I needed to have in my body to have energy or to build mass or to lose weight or anything or to feel full
Just that lack of direction.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like layers of adaptability of like what do we need to change to make sure we're able to stay on top of things despite the busyness of life, despite the other commitments in life that we have, right?
Right. Yeah.
Mm. And how have you found that, ever since you have started eating better, training better, what did that do for your life?
I notice longer stretches of optimism and like positivity. I mean, I'll be real. I struggle with depression. I struggle with anxiety, and so I'll go through bouts of that here and there, and sometimes they'll occur with more frequency. But since I've been in this program, I have something that I can look forward to. It's my workout during the week. It's, let's get up and like let's cook something. We gotta weigh out like our shakes and like our meals and stuff like that. It's just like another thing that I can look forward to as like that's reliable, that I know is like stable and unchanging, even though everything else might be like going crazy.
Almost
But
gives you a level of comfort, right?
the right structure and the right routine.
Exactly, exactly. Before we had our initial conversation, none of this was comfortable. We've now reshaped your perspective and habits that when you feel stressed, when you feel anxious, this is what you resort to because this makes you feel good. So it builds that cycle, allowing it a lot easier for you to stay on track.
Absolutely. Like when people turn towards coping mechanisms, it's so important to focus on the quality of those coping mechanisms because all those mechanisms are doing are just distracting you. When I turn towards the program instead and are improving my diet and like, getting stronger, losing the fat, that's fixing problems in my life. That's a productive coping mechanism. And so I appreciate that. I've been educated about it and actually able to put it into practice and also given the grace to make mistakes along the way too.
And that's another problem that people have, right? They try to be so perfect, but failure is part of the process. We need to embrace failure to learn from it. Because if you don't learn from it, we're unable to reiterate, redesign, adapt, adjust, right? And those are the things that people lack. What was the moment where you thought, you know what, I'm going to hop in this call with Alex. Let's see what he has to say and where this goes.
My anxiety got so bad that I'd pull up to work and I just like sit in my car
Oh, wow.
and I wouldn't even get out. I was so tired, I spent like, an hour and a half trying to like stay awake while driving to my location and definitely not prepared to deal with the stress of being on a construction site. I'd be sitting in my car, not feeling good physically, not feeling good mentally, so anxious and just like paralyzed and already completely drained when the day had not even started yet. And so, I saw like your post and I followed your page and you reached out to me. Of course I was receptive. Clearly I was receptive because here we are.
And are you glad you took that help? You hopped in
Um,
that call?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, because I'm certain that I would have gotten even more burnt out or even possibly even like lost my job, which would have multiplied all my problems, you know, if I hadn't like joined the program. And
Yeah.
I love the community. I love not feeling alone in like my struggles because like I'm seeing all the other guys and they're going through some similar stuff in their life too. And they're reaping some similar benefits from adhering to the program too.
I'm sure now you don't struggle with as much anxiety. It's a lot easier for you to start your day, go to work, and be that leader. Why do you think that is?
A lot of stress gets removed through movement, I'd say. When you're able to rhythmically like move your body, that helps to release it. So
Yeah.
that's where, the exercise program that Coach Naz built for me, that came super helpful. And then him also encouraging me, like,
And
yeah,
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I was looking at your photos earlier today, and I was looking at your side angle. I'll share my screen with you.
I see it.
Look at your stomach.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
posture is so much better. And we didn't lose a significant amount of weight, maybe 11 pounds or so. Like the bloating, the structure, the posture, your shoulders, your chest. You look so much better. Even your legs, they're leaner, they're bigger. You look
Yeah.
good. How do you
It's
feel?
visible progress. And honestly, I wouldn't have noticed and maybe I would have gotten discouraged if like Naz didn't like clearly like show the comparison and like point it
Yeah.
out to me, on a regular basis. But yeah, the first picture is reflective of how I was just living my life with no direction. Especially, I never had any type of like discipline with like diet or whatever. I still got those urges, but like the urges are a lot less now,
A lot more controllable,
a
right?
lot more controllable.
Yeah.
Even when I have like when I'm in an environment like a family cookout or whatever, in the past I might have grabbed like two or three plates. This last cookout I went to, I barely finished like one plate. It was very delicious Cambodian food that I grew up with, but I knew I had to like, control the portion size because I've been so used to controlling my portions and weighing out my food for the how many months.
Yeah, it's a reconditioning, re-standardization, right?
Yeah.
Like this is now your normal. It's a lot better because you know what you're putting in your body and you know that by eating over or under, how it will make you feel, how it will affect your week. So it's a lot easier for you to say no because you're like, it's just not worth it. That's awesome. And all these little changes will compound in the long run, right? I'm really glad to hear that you're feeling a lot better, more so emotionally and mentally. That's huge, right? Life is way too short to feel like shit, is what I always used to say. So we may as well make the most of every day. I mean, sitting in your car for an hour, hour and a half, right? That's
Yeah.
a lot of time that you can be allocating to so many other things, and I'm glad that we're now utilizing that time for better things. And I'm really glad to hear. That's it for this video. I'll end it here. Appreciate you for coming on board, Kevin. Appreciate you for sharing your story. And I hope everybody, feels a bit motivated and inspired by Kevin's story. Cool.